With the coronation due to take place tomorrow, lots of people are wondering whether you need a TV license to watch the coronation on TV, whether that's at home or a commercial premises. I had a lovely email this morning from Catherine to ask me this very question as to whether or not, to clarify whether or not you afford a license, because some people cannot afford a license and they don't want to go anywhere or can't go anywhere or don't have any plans to go anywhere, but still might want to watch the coronation. So if you fall in that position and you don't have a TV license and you're wondering whether you can watch the coronation, this video is for you. Welcome back to the channel. So you know I'm no stranger to talk about the TV license on this channel, so I thought I would clarify this very question. And in fact, clarify I needed to do because I read the official guidance and even I still felt that I would like it properly clarified. So I emailed the press office for BBC that takes care of TV licensing and answers questions, and they directed me to yet a third place to answer some questions. So the very first place that I found was this one here, which is the BBC's own website. And it says, do I need a TV license to watch or host the coronation? The BBC have confirmed that a special one-off TV license dispensation for the coronation for His Majesty the King Charles III. If you're hosting an event, you won't need a TV license to screen coverage of the coronation ceremony or a concert over the weekend. BBC coverage should be free to watch, so please don't charge anyone for the viewing. Even if your screening is taking place at a venue which normally has a commercial purpose, you must not charge for tickets. And the public should be allowed to bring their own food and drink. And for full terms and conditions, etc., follow this link. Now, that to me, it left a little bit of a question still to be answered. So I then looked a bit further and I found this page, which is the TV licensing page, which is exactly the same thing. So I'm not going to read that out, and just realizing that that is very small, so you probably can't read it. But that says exactly the same thing. So no further questions answered there. However, and then it goes on to answer the normal questions about TV license. However, so I emailed the press office and said, please, can you clarify that this just relates to those that don't have a TV license but want to have an event playing the coronation at this event? And then all they replied with is, there's a website here which answers all these questions. So this wasn't the first thing that I found, but this was entitled, Can I Screen the Coronation at the Coronation Concert? And the Coronation Concert. So, can I screen the coronation of His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen Consort and the Coronation Concert? So, here we go. As long as you're a UK resident and stick to the rules explained on this page, you can screen the BBC live ceremonial events coverage. This can be on a TV screen, using a projection system, or in a school or a church hall, for example. And you agree to the following rules. If you're not a UK resident, you can ask for a BBC Studios for an overseas license. Also check your local broadcaster schedules, etc. What are the rules? So let's get to the rules. The venue for your screening is in the UK. So that's the first thing. This dispensation applies to the UK, obviously. You have the correct licenses, such as a PRS license. The PRS license is needed to play live or recorded music in public. For more information, obviously go to PRS for Music website. If you're screening the coverage to a group, or you have to do this live. If you're screening the coverage to a group, you have to do this live. You must show the coverage at the same time as broadcast by the BBC, without edits, without interruptions, without cuts, alterations, modifications, or superimpositions. So you can't impose your logos on it and things like that. And again, I just realized that this is a little bit small, so you might not be able to read that quite clearly, but let's try that. Don't record, live stream, copy, reproduce, distribute, rescreen the coverage. So I think many people might be planning to live stream this or copy it or reproduce it and all that sort of stuff. The rule is that you can't do that. Screen it using TV, other screen or projection system with a quality that is good enough to look like a BBC broadcast. So it's got to be a good enough quality to stand up to the BBC's standards. Arrange any technical equipment for the screening yourself at your own cost. Don't use the words BBC or the BBC logo, and don't pretend the BBC has helped to organise or endorse your event. Don't use any of the BBC trademarks, such as the blocks. Don't use or display, and I'll just add in there, BBC are very hot on taking care of their trademarks, so they will follow that up. So make sure you don't do that. Don't use or display any royal crests or ciphers. Don't bring the BBC or the member of the royal family into disrepute. Not that any of you would dream of doing that, I'm sure. Keep the screening ad-free. You can't intersplice it with your own adverts in the middle of it, where you might find that you could squeeze an advert in if not much is happening at a certain point. For example, don't place any sponsorship or advertising near the screen, and don't use it to promote commercial or political activity. So this is just a screening. BBC coverage should be free to watch, so please don't charge anyone for the viewing. Even if your screening is taking place at a venue which normally has a commercial purpose, you must not charge for tickets. What else do I need to know for the screening? We won't supply you with a direct feed. You've got to get your own feed. We have no obligation to transmit any coverage. We're also not legally responsible for making sure it's available to you. Do I need a license to screen the coronation or the coronation concert at a community event? You don't need a license to screen the coverage of the coronation and other live ceremony events over the weekend. The BBC recognises the constitutional nature of these events and has decided to offer a dispensation of the TV licence to watch them. The dispensation allows venues where TV is not usually watched to screen the ceremonial coverage and coronation live as part of a community event. This includes, for example, community venues such as town halls, community centres, churches, streets, as well as traditionally commercial premises acting as community venues such as concert halls, performing art venues, cinemas and shops, and so on. It also applies to any outdoor venues which have the facilities to screen. You don't need to contact the TV licence to tell them of your screenings. If you've already bought a licence for the sole purpose, you can get a refund, in essence. So important to know that you need to stick to these rules if you're going to screen this event. And it can be on a TV, a screen, using a projection system, either in a school or a church hall or whatever. And those are the rules. So there is a dispensation for the license. If you've bought a license specifically to watch the coronation and you don't normally watch TV and you wanted to watch this and so you bought the license for that purpose, you can grab a refund according to this page. If you've already bought the license for the sole purpose of screening this or other events, claim a refund by contacting TV licensing following the cancellation refund procedure. And there's the phone number, 0300 303 9695, or go to the TV licensing website. So there it is. Those are the rules. I bring this to you in a video because I think a lot of people may not have found this page. You may only have found this page or this page, which does broadly tell you the same thing, but doesn't tell you all of the rules. So there are the rules. I hope that was clear. I thought I could do no better than to read them to you to ensure that you have all of the rules. And in the meantime, make sure your phones are turned to Do Not Disturb for future broadcasts. And I ask you to subscribe, and I thank you for watching.